The CEO would be wisdom not to get the Polar Koreans easily, although he is confident he has excellent deal-making skills, so for such of his predecessors how will assist him mount up Kim in an instantaneous ex-US diplomatic corps who include consumable length days blocked in talks in the Polar Koreans, customarily qualified and so prepared interlocutors, say the discussions can be deep disappointing and pregnant in attempts by the in-isolation country to handle the trial. Though currently, lot expert question assurances by Southward Korea and the US how Kim very intends to say on elimination his nuke arms program and trust he may be curved instead of on weakening blood pressure on his poor country and keeping as lot of his stockpile as probable. The Trump card and Kim meet, the at first among US and Polar Korean heads of country, is a jump in the unidentified, with love Trump card. Kim is believed to be unexpected and impetuous. Importance, the risks how the negotiations go as everyone hopes are significant. One of the concerns Polar Korea expert include on Trump card is how his belief in his low instincts masks a superficial insight of the cobweb of nuke public diplomacy. Kim, who is show growing strategy refinement on the some brush, is potential to be dramatically concentrated on the detailed information with his nuke stockpile is seen in Pyongyang as the underwriter of his dynasty guideline. Trump card told on Saturday he would aware during seconds of the begin of their negotiations in Singapore on Tuesday if the entire item is departure to job of. This at first min I'll aware, fair my concern, my sense, house which I make, Trump card said reporters at the G7 summit conference in Canada. Over in the 1 week, Trump card told he didn't include to get ready really lot for the meet since it was all on relation. Later on Friday, the ex-actual property magnate insisted he had in fact been preparation for his face in Kim all my lifetime. If Trump card is really winging it or he fair wants everyone to believe so following days of peaceful preparations is not clear. But the risk of departure in the summit conference undercooked is how Trump card could do unintentional acquiescence on complex or historic pregnant issues, or accept official position how are harmful to allies love Southward Korea or Japan, or falter in Polar Korean negotiations traps. If the summit conference goes so, it is potential to conduct to the type of length-term tactful betrothal in the Polar Koreans how is known of history presidencies how the present authority told it would not allow. It will need intensive U.S. attention, stamina and focus to part to reach an account of Pyongyang's nuke stockpile and its verifiable and permanent completion. Kim will do his homework assignment in spite their insulation and the picture of Polar Korea as a back country. Polar Korean negotiators are ever so briefed, and a new general of junior diplomatic corps is savvier on the external planet rather than their older peer pressure. We really be fooled by our concept how Polar Korea is a recluse realm, told Wendy Sherman, a ex-elder country division formal who agreed in Polar Korea on an eventually failed rocket transactions at the end of the Clinton authority. We saw Kim Jong-un really skillfully supervise the summit conference in, Southward Korean CEO, Luna Jae-in. He is produced, he will do his homework assignment. Yet, Trump card does include one main benefit above U.S. officials who took portion in unsuccessful early talks in Polar Korea, sames received to encounter the man who is in accusation. Evans honor serviced as one of the country division's top Asia expert and was frequently disappointed how his peer pressure were incapable to do the largest key decisions. So frequently we were behavior in human beings who were posturing, read speaking points, who were betrothed in rage, but at the end of the date, weren't very the human beings who could solve the issues we were hard to solve. Down there was a lot of gamesmanship, honor told. Of the benefits of which we are making order now is we are in fact speaking to the internal round of the management who include the capacity to solve the issues and include the capacity to get activity. In latter days, Trump card has acknowledged how the summit conference is just the begin of an force to denuclearize the Korean peninsula and end a country of war among Pyongyang and the US, hilly behind more than aspiring over authority forecasting of a lot more rapid trial. How tool it could conduct to a time of intensive and grueling talks in the Polar Koreans known of the Clinton, Bush and Obama administrations. Ex-elder U.S. briefcase Christopher Mound, who led talks in Pyongyang for the Bush year, outlined fair how disappointing the trial could get in his memoir Advanced Post. If it is in their guide of negotiating or no, the polar Koreans would include an irritating addiction of assenting to thing, later upcoming behind and not assenting to which they had fair coordinated, Mound wrote. Honor, now in the Albright Stonebridge team, a world strategy consultative company, told how in spite the polars' insulation and the paranoid it occasionally causes, polar Korean negotiations teams are settle, though if down there are questions on if they completely understand all the cobweb of nuke policy. They include made their homework assignment, they are really qualified, he told. They are apparently all really loyalist to the reason and loyalist to the management, yet, they are very qualified at which they make. Intellect on Kim trump card has the benefit header in the negotiations of the expertise gleaned on Kim's attitude by Secretariat of Country Mike Pompeo, who has met the polar Korean lead several times, as data gone on by Luna. Time Kim is frequently lampooned above his hair, his styling of gown and the vestigial country of polar Korea's citizen air navy. He has shown in spectacular capacity to unite force and to hold in violent and strategy overseas politics with proper high lead in 2011. His racing to extend his nuke stockpile and length-range rocket technology to supply it may now include been replaced by a strategy selection to use how leverage to ease the harsh economical position in his nation and its tactful insulation. He has controlled to win the final award of a summit conference in an CEO, a move no one of his two dynasty predecessors controlled out of offer any main acquiescence. Kim, who was educated man in Switzerland, is potential to include a panorama feeling of his objectives, polar Korea's nuke program and the strategy image in Northwest Asia expert told. Diplomatic Corps, who met his deceased dad, Kim Jong Illinois, recall his insight of the key issues, a feature his son appears to stake. Kim Jong Illinois went downward how whole listing, and though he didn't include each comprehensive reply to all, he knew which the questions were, which the issues were, he was so prepared, she told. Both of Kim and Trump card include a powerful stimulus to announce the summit conference a successful everything happens. Trump card's attitude is to try and hammer a private connect in Kim, in link in his faith how relationships are the key to deal-making in world relations. Critics include faulted the CEO for an too reconciliatory attitude to the polar Korean lead, who presides above the planet's largest depressing country, wherever millions of human beings include dead of famine and that maintains a web of gulags and rehabilitation camps. He's unidentified area, in the surest feeling, Trump card said reporters. I sense how Kim Jong-un wants to do thing large for his human beings, and he has how prospect, and he win T include how prospect once again, Trump card told. As, I very trust how same's departure to do thing really favorable. In his speeches and actions, Kim has shown how he has a feeling of his own stance in story, although he has yet to openly offer any mark how he is readily to pursue via on denuclearization. But Trump card's ploy appears to be designed at compelling Kim how more than private honor and acceptance could pursue if he commits to a severe negotiations trial in Washington. If it plant, Trump card could be in achieve of an accomplishment how has eluded all his predecessors and could determine his overseas politics heritage.